One of 10 is a powerful platform that makes tracking outliers, analyzing competitors, and generating content ideas simple and professional. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start by setting up your account and walking through the pricing plans, so you'll know how to get started and which subscription fits your needs. From there, I'll show you how to search for outliers, add trackers, and use the idea generator to spark fresh content directions. Next, we'll explore creative tools like the title generator and thumbnail generator, all designed to make your videos more engaging and competitive. And finally, I'll bring everything together so you'll have a clear roadmap for using one of 10 to track trends, organize your workflow, and create content that stands out. Alright, to get started is that you want to go here into the website of one of 10 using the link in the description. If you use that link, you will now be able to get 20% off when you purchase a paid plan here in one of 10. Now, once you're here, you want to click here on sign up to set up your account. And from here, you can provide your email, password, and then confirm your password. Click on create your account. And then from there, you'll now be able to proceed and follow the on-screen instructions, or you can just simply proceed with your Google account, depending on which one you prefer. After that step, you will now be prompted into the pricing plans. And from here, you'd be able to see that we have this toggle, so you can go for monthly billing or yearly billing. If you're fine with the standard pricing, you can go for monthly. But if you'd want to maximize the savings and discounts, then go for the yearly plan. So this would get you 40% off with yearly with up to $240 in savings. Plus, because you use the link in the description, you would be adding this with 20%. So that would be a total of up to 60% discount from the price. And in here, you want to choose between basic and pro. So let me quickly give you an overview on each one so you know which one you should get. So here in the basic, it's about the starter package that gives you tools to track millions of outliers, bookmark videos, monitor competitor channels, explore niches, and more. And this is for beginners or casual users who want to start analyzing trends, keeping tabs on competitors, and exploring new niches without needing advanced AI tools. And next is that we have the Pro plan. So this is everything in the basic plan, plus advanced AI tools like the AI thumbnail generator and AI title generator to make your content stand out. So this is for active creators, marketers, or professionals who want to not only track competitors and niches, but also optimize their content with AI-powered titles and thumbnails for better engagement. So basically, basic is for starters who want tracking and exploration, and pro would be the one for creators who want tracking plus AI tools to boost content performance. Alright, so now once you're done with that, the next thing that you'd want to do is to make sure that you have a channel connected here into one of 10. You can click here on Manage Channels on the left menu at the bottom. And now, you should now be able to see here all the channels that you have connected. If there's none, then you can just add the handle in here and click on Add and just follow the on-screen instructions. You just simply need to log in into the channel. So that's it. Once it's added, you can now proceed. So now let's go back into the homepage. So basically here in the homepage, this is your dashboard for discovery. This is where you quickly spot what's trending, what's unusual, and what deserves your attention. So in here, notice that these are all outliers. This is basically the outlier section. This highlights videos or channels that are performing far above average compared to their usual baseline. Outliers are a signal of something unexpected, maybe a new trend, a viral moment, or a competitor breakthrough. And notice that we have some scores in here. They are color coded. So basically you can see this 1.2, this 11.5, and 4.6, 5.9, 1.3, and many more right here. So basically the higher the number, the better it is. That means that's how much better they have done compared to their usual traffic or baseline. So basically, instead of scrolling endlessly, the homepage surfaces the biggest anomalies and opportunities so you can act fast. Whether that's just studying what made a competitor's video pop, bookmarking it, or exploring that niche further. You can click here on Show More to view more outliers in here if you're interested. You can also go here into all outliers. You can scroll here and basically just browse, and maybe there's something here that would pique your interest and might give you an idea on what to create next, or maybe how you can do better. And then next is that here we have our filters at the top. So notice that we have this one right here. You could change that by clicking here on clear all filters. And then you'd now be able to remove all of that. And now from here, click on filters. In this way, you would now be able to add your own filters in here on the results. Here on the outlier score, you can set a minimum right here. So you can see that there's a notice over 2x might be too much. So we could go for, let's say just 1.5 right there. That would be the minimum. And then the maximum, I'll go for, let's say just 50 right here would be realistic for me. So that's it. So if you're interested only at this range, you could definitely set it here in the outlier score. Next is that we have the views. So you can adjust this accordingly to what you want. So I typically go for 3K to 2M right here. So this is where I search for the views right here, because I typically find them feasible for me. So that would actually depend on the niche or the industry that you are in here. So make sure that you adjust this accordingly. And next is that we have the subscribers. You could select that right here. But as for me, I tend to just leave this open because subscribers doesn't mean much to me. As long as the video is doing good, then that's all that matters. And then here in the video duration, is that we have a minute, at least a minute, up to 7 hours. So this is where you'd be able to customize that. So you can see in here. So I typically go for just a video duration of 1 to 1 hour max, since I am in the tutorial niche. So this is very niche dependent, depending on your niche on how much you would want to set the maximum duration in here. And then the publication date. So this is where you'd be able to see if you'd want to just get the videos from last week, all time, last month, last 3 months, and so on. And we also have the view preferences. You can go for details or just thumbnails depending on how you'd want to view this. And you'd be able to see that the views will now change. The column right here, I'm going to go for 6, and then you'd be able to see that change there in real time. The video type, you can go for long or YouTube Shorts. I'm going to go for long. And then here in the language, you can choose one, so on. And by the way, if you'd want to save this as a template for your filter and you'd want to use this from time to time, it's very helpful that you click here on Save Filters, and then you could name your filter. Let's say Sample Filter, and click here on Check. And then it will now be saved right there. And you could also click here on Reset Filters if you'd want to reset all of the values. I'm not happy with my options. I'm going to click here on Apply Changes, and you should now be able to see that applied right here. And here you have your filters. If you'd want to use the filter that you have just saved, you could just simply go into the saved filters and just click on the filter right here, and it will now be loaded easily. And next, we have the search bar in here. So you can search for specific niches, topics, keywords, channels, thumbnails, or many more right here, so that you'd be able to narrow down your search specifically. So for example, I am interested in 1 of 10 videos. So I can just search in here 1 of 10. So this is the keyword. You could click here to proceed. You could also go for random keywords if you'd want. I'm just going to go click here, and it will now go for 1 of 10 videos right here. That is also, of course, in the range of the filter that we have set in here. So filters are still applicable, and here are the videos. And from here, I just want to change this into details view because there would be more information. So in here, we could now see the scores, the channels, the views, and how long it is. How long it is ago right here, or the date that it was uploaded. So this was 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 4 years, and many more right here. And notice that we have some categories right here. So first is that we have the outliers. So this would reveal the unexpected spikes in the videos, like viral content, sudden growth, and competitor breakthroughs. So you can use this to spot early and analyze what made them pop. And then we have the thumbnail search. So this would let you search specifically by thumbnails across videos. So in this way, you'd be able to compare competitor thumbnails, find inspiration, and refine your own click-through strategy. And we also have the Niche Explorer. So this would let you dig into specific niches or topics to see what's trending and how content performs. So instead of just guessing, you get data-driven insights into niche growths, saturation, and opportunities. As you can see, we are seeing channels in here. So you can hover over the channels, and then you'd be able to see the outliers within the channel. So you'd now be able to identify profitable niches and track emerging topics and decide where to focus your content. And from here, you could also save this search. You can click here on the plus button to save the search. And from here, we could go and give it a title. So I'm going to go for 1 of 10 search, for example. And then the search query here is 1 of 10, as you can see right here on the search bar. Click on Save Search. And then you should now be able to see that right here under Saved Search. And from here, whenever you load that, you'd be able to load the search right here. So for example, I'm just going to go and exit right here. I'm going to go back into homepage, going to save search and click here. And then as you can see, I will now be prompted back in here. So that's the use of saved search. Next is that let's choose one of this video right here. So for example, I'm just going to go and find a huge score right here. Let's see. 5.2, 2.2. This one is 17. This is actually pretty high. And yeah, let's say that we're going to go for this video. So if there's any video right here that interests you, you can click on that video. For example, this one right here. And then it will now prompt you directly into the YouTube video itself right here. So it's now prompted me here into the YouTube platform. And another thing that you could do is that you could click here on the channel name, and then it will now prompt you into the channel right here in 1 of 10. And then from here, you can click on track this channel if you'd want to add it into the list of trackers in here. So we'll be discussing more of that later on when we get into the tracker section. And here you can see more similar channels. You could go here into these bottom right here, and this would prompt you into the channel page on the YouTube platform of that certain channel, as you can see. And then we also have some filters in here on the channel videos of this channel. You can also clear the filters to see all the videos that is uploaded by this channel. So that's how you can view the channel in here. And then we also have this button right here where you can click here on the 3 dots, wherein you'd now be able to bookmark this certain video right here. You can click on that, and then you can now name your bookmark. Let's say a sample bookmark video. Click on save, and then you'd now be able to select that folder right here, and then basically just go and select that, and then this video that you have bookmarked will now be added here under that folder. Next is that we have a bunch more options. We could generate an idea out of this video, or taking this as a reference video. You can click on that, and then you'll now be prompted in here. So we'll be discussing more of that later on. And then we also have the track channel where you could add it into trackers, report the video, or you could go for a similar topic that is related to this specific video, or similar thumbnails or similar channels if you would like to view them right here. Next, we can go into thumbnail search, and in here we'd be able to see more thumbnail and basically very similar options that we could do here as we did on the outliers. And here in the Niche Explorer is a little bit different. So in here you can see that we have the plus button. You can click on that, and basically this would let you add a tracker for this channel, so you could track the videos and basically the stats that would be going on this channel if you're interested. So you can click here and save, which we'll be doing that later on. And then yeah, that is basically it here for the homepage and how you can search for specific videos. And next is that we have the tracker feature. So this is your ongoing monitoring tool. It's built to keep watch on the videos, channels, and niches you care about without you having to constantly research. So in here, we can now go for track channel. So you can click here on plus track channel, and then you could now name the tracker. Let's say that I'm gonna go for a Beast tracker right here. So I'm gonna go for Mr. Beast right here at Mr. Beast right here. So you can click on create tracker, and then you would now have it right here. So now you would now have the Beast tracker, and then you could see the Mr. Beast video right here because we have added this channel, which is the Mr. Beast channel, into our tracker in here. So you'd be able to see the Mr. Beast video right here from the channel of Mr. Beast itself. And here you can see the similar channels according to the niche or the channel that is added into this current tracker. And from here, you can add more tracker if you'd want. You can click here on add channel if you would want to manually add a channel in here. But you could also go here for the similar channels. You can click here on the plus button to add them, and they would be added directly or easily, just like that. As you can see, it says channel added successfully. And next is that you have this one right here. So you can refresh this page to gather fresh data right here. So now it's updating the channels since we have added one more channel. So now it's updating the info that we'll be getting right here, or the data, stats, and so on. So this is what you want to do every time you would want to view this specific tracker. So in this way, you would always get updated info or stats. And from here, once it's done updating, you should be able to see it says request completed. So now it is all updated. And then next is that we have the create share link. So if you'd want to make this shareable for other people, then you can click here on create a share link right here, and it will now be copied into clipboard. And basically you can just paste that on the URL of your browser, share it with your friends and so on if you would like to share this result. You could also make this folder private by clicking it right here. In this way, it will now no longer be accessible for anyone except yourself. Next is that we have this button right here. So this is where you could disable or enable notifications of this video. So if there are something that you are anticipating to get right here, or you would like to get updated in, you could click here, and then notifications successfully enabled for this tracker folder. And that would mean that one of them would notify you if there's something going on with this tracker right here. So that's how you can enable this. And then you can always add channel like we did earlier. Click here in the edit tracker details if you'd want to edit the tracker folder name, and then the channels that is included in here in this folder. You can click here on the X button if you do want to remove them from this folder. You could also click here on the trash button if you'd want to delete this specific tracker as a whole. So be very careful if you do this right here, because this cannot be undone. So that's basically it on how you can use the tracker. You can just repeat the same process over and over again, and basically stack your track channels in here. So just put them all right here on all the channels that you are interested in. You can group them using the folder by category. And yeah, basically the same thing when you go here into home, and then you just go into the video right here, click on the three dots, and you can click here on track channel. And in here, you just simply would want to go for the track folder, select the folder that you would want to add this channel into. For example, here, and it will now be added. So now just close, and it has now been added. And yeah, that is basically it on how tracker work. It's a very simple to use and a very direct feature, but very powerful. And now next one is that we have the bookmarks. So this is a very simple one. This is where you'd be able to see all the videos that you have bookmarked. Like for example, when you go here into home, you can select a video, click on the three dots, and click on bookmark. So basically the same thing that we did earlier. Add it into the folder where you would want to add it here. In your bookmark folders, click on close, and then you should now be able to see that right here added. You could also go from extension if you'd want to see all the videos that you have bookmarked using the extension. You have the save ideas and then save titles. Also, speaking of extension, you can get the 1 of 10 extension in here on the 1 of 10 Chrome extension page. So I'll be providing the link in the description, so you can just click on that and go here directly, so it's easier for you. And from here, you can click on Try Chrome extension, and you will now be prompted into the Chrome Web Store of the extension right here, and click on Add to Chrome. And then click on Add to Extension. Now we will have this added right here once it's done downloading, and here it is. It is now added to our Google Chrome browser. So you can also use this into another browser that is integrated with Chrome Web Store. So if it allows the Chrome extension there, you can definitely use the 1 of 10 extension. Click here on the extension icon on the top right. You can pin this, and then you can open up the extension of 1 of 10. And from here, you can now log in. You can click here on login to 1 of 10, and it will now prompt you right here. And then you can just simply log in again by providing your email and password, or you could go for your Google account. All right, so now I am now logged in. So there are a ton of features here in 1 of 10 extension. So the first thing that we're going to do is the thumbnail preview right here. So you can test how your thumbnail looks on YouTube. So you can just provide your channel name. So for example, a sample channel, and provide the thumbnail right here that you'll be using. So I'm gonna go click here to upload, and then you'll have this dialog box. Just choose the thumbnail that you want. And then from here, you can enter the video title. So for example, profitable trading strategy for beginners. Right there. And then you could also go for a random placement if you would want. So you'll understand that later on. So I'm going to go for disabling that. Click on preview thumbnail. And from here is that we must be on YouTube. So you can just go into YouTube right here. So it's that simple. YouTube, and then open up this one right here. And then you'd now be able to see when you click here on preview thumbnail, it will now be placed right here. So you'd be able to see how exactly it would look like, and this would be able to help you visualize even better. And you could also go for random placement, just like I said, click on preview thumbnail, and it will now be in a random placed right here on the YouTube tab that you are currently in. So that's basically the thumbnail preview feature. Next is that we also have this feature now on the video results where we can see the logo. You can hover over that logo. And from here, you can now go and bookmark this video directly. You can now track this channel. You could add this into your tracker directly here using the extension. You could go for similar thumbnails. You could go for the titles in here that is similar to the video that we have selected right here. And we also have the thumbnails. So these are the similar thumbnails and so on. And then we also have generate ideas, which we'll be discussing more later on as we go into that feature. And also, you could go inside that video, for example, this one. So now I'm just going to go and pause this, and notice that we also have this one right here. So we can see the views right here of this specific video. You can go for the VPH, or views per hour, engagement, and then we also have the data right here for 24 hours, 1 week, 28 days, and so on. You could also go for the ranking of this video, performance rankings. You can see that right here. You also have the refresh button to get fresh data regarding this video. So that's basically how you will be able to use this. And then next is that we also have it right here. So basically the same thing. When you hover over the cursor in here, you can see bookmarks, track channel, similar thumbnails, or generate ideas. So that's it for the YouTube extension here of 1 of 10. So this is a very handy extension to have, especially if you have the premium feature here in 1 of 10. All right, so now let's go back into the 1 of 10 website. And the next one that we have would be the idea generator. So this is your creative spark inside the platform. It's built to help you come up with fresh, data-driven content ideas instead of starting from scratch. So in here, you can now select the channel that you would want to create or get ideas in. So in my case, it's this one. And then you want to click here on generate ideas. Take note that it can take up to 2 minutes. And from here, it's now currently analyzing our channel and our data, and it will generate ideas based on that for us. And now here are the results. So you can see we now have the titles, which is basically the topic or the idea. And then we have the thumbnail right here for our idea if we ever proceed into making this video. So we already have a thumbnail and they are all freakishly good. And for reference, these are the thumbnails on our channel. You can see that it is very similar. And I think this is actually much better compared to the current ones that we have right here. So 1 of 10 tool really gives you beautiful thumbnails in here. They all look really polished. And let's say that there's something in here in the thumbnail that you don't like. You could always edit that. You could click here on edit with AI. But if you already like this, then you can just click here on download, or you could delete this topic if you don't like it at all. So let's say that we just want to edit a thumbnail. We can click here on edit with AI. And then you can now see the thumbnail in a bigger scale. And in here, you can just go for your prompt. So something that you would want to change. So let's say that I would want to go for add a let's say that a search bar with URL. Let's say that mywebsite.com under the loading bar. Let's say icon, something like that. And let's see how the AI would interpret this. So I expect that there would be a search bar with URL right here. And then you can click here on send and it will now start editing the thumbnail. The good thing here is that you don't need any editing skills. All you have to do is to just simply describe it in words on what you would like to be changed or edited on the thumbnails, something you don't like or something you want to remove, add or change. You can easily do that in here. It's very simple. Alright, so now here it is. As you can see, it has now added a search bar with the URL mywebsite.com under the loading bar icon. So basically you can see that it exactly followed my prompt and I'm very satisfied with the result. And if there's anything that you'd want to change again, then you can just simply type it out in here again and click on send. And that's basically how you can edit. No editing skills needed. And now once you are satisfied with the thumbnail, you can now click here on download. Or if you'd want to upscale it, which I think is unnecessary, you can click here on upscale if you would want, because the quality is already pretty good. So upscale would make just a little bit of difference. All right, so now here is the upscaled version, and we can now see that it has now become much clearer compared to the previous one, which is this one. So you'd be able to notice the subtle difference when you enlarge the image here on your thumbnail. So yeah, this is basically it on how you would be able to edit your thumbnail and how you'd be able to generate ideas using Idea Generator. And if you'd want to generate more again, or if you're not satisfied with this, you could always click here on Generate Ideas button once again to get more ideas. So now next is that we have the title generator. So this is your built-in tool for crafting strong, click-worthy video titles without the guesswork. So with this, we can now choose the channel right here of our choice. Again, I'm just going to choose my one and only channel. And then from here is that you can now write the title you have in mind or write what the video is about. And from there, the 1 of 10 AI would just make it better. So from here, let's say that I'm going to go for how to use the 1 of 10 extension full guide, maybe something like that. And then from here you can click on generate, and then we will now be able to see these categories inspired by your channel titles and inspired by top outliers. So depending on which one you would want to follow, if you'd want to stick into your style, or maybe you can try out the top outliers right here. So this is how it's crafted based on my channel's style that was analyzed by 1 of 10. So from here you can just choose which one you want. Like for example, I'm gonna go for the top outliers, let's say this one, I can now go for three dots right here, and then you could go for inspirations right here, and basically you would be able to see some similar videos that is already in YouTube regarding that, so you could get some inspirations. You could also copy this to clipboard if this is the title that you would want to use on your video, and basically you can just post or paste this into YouTube and use it as your title. You could also generate thumbnails using this title or add it to bookmark. So when you click here on add to bookmark, you would now be able to save this on the titles folder. So we can click here on create folder, and let's say sample, or actually go for best titles. Click on save, and then just simply select that folder, and then you can click here on go to save titles, and then you should be able to see all your saved titles in here. And now, finally, the most popular feature here in 1 of 10 is the thumbnail generator. So this is your tool for creating eye-catching video thumbnails that drive clicks and engagement. So in here, you can now select the channel that you are gonna go and make a thumbnail for. So this is an essential step because the 1 of 10 AI will get data from this channel to stylize the thumbnail that it's going to make and tailor it to the style of the channel, so that it is very likely that you would like the thumbnail result. So in here, you can write the title you have in mind. So let's say that I'm gonna go for how to create 1 of 10 thumbnails right here. So just like that. And then next is that we have the AI model right here. So we have the latest, because as of date, we have 1 of 10 Gen 2, which is best for face consistency and realistic thumbnails. And we also have the 1 of 10 Gen 1, which is the previous one or the old version. As for this one, I would need a Gen 2 because I need the face consistency because I am using a character in my thumbnails. And in here, we can now choose how many variations or thumbnails will be generated at a time. So we can go for 4, 8, or 12, depending on what you'd want. And take note that the credits cost would increase as you increase the variation. And next is here. So you could go and use a face from your library or a character to use that in the thumbnail. So you could click here on this button and just simply upload it from here by clicking on upload new image. So I'm just gonna upload mine, and here it is. This is my sample AI character that I'll be using in the thumbnail. So here it is, added as a reference image. Next one is where we can also add or upload a new image, but this time we can go for the style of the thumbnail. You can click here on upload new image, and I'm going to choose a thumbnail right here as a reference. So it would copy the style and also use the character that we have uploaded right here. And notice that it has the character symbol right there, or used as a face symbol. And from here, once you're ready, you can click on generate. And you also want to take note that this symbol symbolizes that this is how much credits it will consume for this to generate. And make sure that you monitor your credit spending or how much credit you have, because if you run out of credits, you wouldn't be able to use 1 of 10 anymore, as this is a credit-based platform. Now I'm going to click here on generate. All right, so now here is the result. So I really like these 3 thumbnails in here, except for this one, because this does not follow the character that I have used as a reference. So it's a completely different person. It's very similar to the thumbnail style that I have sent as a reference right here. So in that case, I'm just going to use the others right here, and I think I'm gonna go for this one. I like this the most. So from here, we can now click on this thumbnail, edit with AI. And from here, if there's anything you want to change, you can now once again put the prompt right here. So you don't need to edit it manually. So let's say that I would want to change this one right here, the text secret formula. I'm gonna go for change the text secret formula. Let's say into beginners, or just like this. I'm gonna go and put it in all caps, beginners guide. All right, that, and I'm gonna click it on send, and let's see if it would actually change the text in there. And here is the result. As you can see, the text is now changed into beginner's guide. So I think that is much better. And now finally, to polish it is just, I'm gonna click here on upscale just so that the quality looks better. And here's the result. It is now upscaled. Now it looks much sharper. Now I can just click here on download, and then from here I can go for 1K, 2K, or 4K quality depending on which one. I think 1K is enough for just YouTube thumbnails, but you can go up to 4K if you would want some more quality. So I'm just going to go for 1K for this one, for example, and it will now be downloaded just like that. And take note that the edit thumbnail is still in beta, and it still doesn't allow you to upload photos as of the moment. Like for example, you would want to add some photos in here, like the logo of 1 of 10 as an additional edit. So you wouldn't be able to do that. So you have to make sure that you include it right here when you are just creating or generating the prompt. So now I'm going to add the logo right here. So I'm going to use this and upload new image. And then I'm going to select the logo right here, and let's see if it would actually also put the logo here in the thumbnail now, since we have added the logo. And now here's the result. As you can see, it's now much better because it now includes the logo of 1 of 10 that we have uploaded as a reference image, as you can see right here. And now we can click on which thumbnail you want. So I don't like this one because it's not using the character reference that I have uploaded. I think I'm just going to go for this one right here. This looks good. I'm going to click here on edit with AI, and I'm going to say that change the color scheme to black and blue right here. And I'm going to go for background right here. So background color scheme, just like that. And make the 1 of 10 logo bigger. So there will be 2 edits right there. And click here on send, and let's see on what the changes will be. All right, so here it is. The background is now in blue and a black color scheme. And then the logo is now much bigger as compared to the original one, as you can see. Now all that's left is to upscale, and it is now ready for download. So that's it. All right, so now one last tip is that you could also make your prompt like this. So you could just simply input the title, and then after that, you could add some specifications on the details that you would want to be added into your thumbnail. So as you can see, I said use black and blue color scheme, and it has applied it on all the thumbnails, which I really like, and use monitor mockup with sample thumbnails in it. So you can see that right there. And then make sure the logo is large so it's very visible. So that's it. So you could also structure it like this, so you would have control on how the AI would create your logo instead of just providing the title and letting AI be as creative as it wants and let it choose the style. So in this way, you would have way more control from the start. So from here, you can now click on the images again that you would want. So I like this one the best. I'm going to click on edit with AI, and then you could write your prompt again to edit if needed. But in my case, I like this already. So all that's left is for me to upscale. And then once it's done is I'm going to download and use that thumbnail myself. So yeah, that is basically how you can use the thumbnail generator effectively. And then you can also go here into the credits if you ever run out of credits and need more, so you could create more content here in 1 of 10. So you can click here on buy credits and choose the amount and click on proceed to payment, provide your payment information. Once the process has been completed, you would now have successfully purchased some credits. And one last thing is that you could always go here into the customer support at the bottom right, where they are only a chat away for helping you. So you could click here on messages, click on send a message. If you need anything or if you need help here in 1 of 10, you could always message them right here. They always reply fast and they are always happy to help. So yeah, that is basically it for this 1 of 10 video. I have discussed everything that you should know. So if you would like to get a discount when purchasing a paid plan, make sure that you check the link in the description. Use that to get 20% off when purchasing a plan. That's it. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.